All right, good. Oh wait, it's not evening, is it? Let's try that again. Good afternoon slash morning, everybody. And how are we all doing? Afternoon, yes, exactly, Shakar. And yes, the mustard sweater is back. You are sick. I know, I've heard. Poor Shakar. What a great way to start the year, huh? Getting ill, heading into 2026. It's not great, is it? So, yeah, I thought I'd take this sort of opportunity since I have a bit of spare time today on New Year's Day to sort of do what I was going to do yesterday, but didn't get the chance to do because I too have been not great for the last 2 or 3 days. That's how I ended it. Yeah, I unfortunately have also had my voice be affected in the last couple of days, and still kind of is affected now, but it's better than it was last night. So unfortunately, even though I was quite hyped to do a stream yesterday, I wasn't able to do one because my voice was just other soda drinks are available. Hey, pineapple. Oh, hey, it's a sweet state. Yeah, you could call it an unofficial sweet state if you want. That's up to you. Um, these are not going to become a regular thing. This is me sort of taking the opportunity to do something I was going to do yesterday, genuinely. I had it all planned out yesterday. I was going to start the stream on New Year's Eve by talking about how 2025 went and my plans for the new year. And then I was going to play a game, not Control. I had something else in mind, but that will have to happen another time. Why is this a stream of lies? You said no more sweet states. Question, how could you deceive us like this? This is not a sweet state. As I have just explained, this I'm basically doing something that I was going to do yesterday evening. That's part of my New Year's Eve stream. I was going to do this first and then play a game after. But I'm doing it now. I fully intend to do a stream later tonight, getting back to Control and carrying on my playthrough. Hey, Nitro, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck and plays Doom mods like a duck, well then you're obviously watching a goose. And Happy New Year to everyone, by the way. Hope you all managed to successfully make it through the blur of the yearly transition. I know I did. And for the first time, I probably did so sober for the first time in 22 years, to be honest. Pretty sure I've spent most of my other New Year's type days having a few drinks on this occasion, but not this time around. Though I did spend it in good company. But anyway, so I'm gonna basically do what I was gonna do yesterday. My voice unfortunately was not the greatest. And so I've only just managed to get back to a decent state now. It's not 100% as you can probably hear, but it'll be well enough. I don't want to be off streaming too long. You know, I'm already annoyed that I wasn't able to stream yesterday. I was really looking forward to that stream. I always like the idea of doing a New Year's transition stream. It's fun, but yeah. Anyway, so let's get on with it, shall I? So, start with, I'm just going to sort of go over how 2025 went, since it's come and gone now. Excuse me. There might be the occasional coughing and croaky voice to deal with, but yeah. So how did 2025 go for me and for this channel? Well, I think this year has been generally a year where I have changed a couple of things, genuinely so in my life. I started the year in an okay spot. I had switched classrooms at my previous job, and I was hoping to start playing some long-term games. You know, I was starting to play through Tomb Raider 1 at the beginning of the year. You know, starting to get around to doing that kind of thing where I talk about the games I've talked about wanting to play for years in the channel. I'm finally getting around to actually playing them. And I was definitely doing that with Tomb Raider 1 at the start of the year. And by the end of this year, I find myself in a position where I have made quite a few lifestyle changes, and a few channel-related changes going forward, which should serve to make the next couple of years a bit more interesting and varied for any of those who choose to stick around and watch my antics, I guess. So, I'm just looking at my notes here, because I haven't done a Sweet State in a while, have I? Well, a Sweet State type update video. Anyway, this is kind of an unofficial one if you want to keep in score. I don't know what number this would be. So, yeah, one of the big things, obviously, at the start of the year was I got through Tomb Raider 1 Remastered and Tomb Raider 2 Remastered. I've been talking about playing Tomb Raider 1 and 2 for quite a fair amount of time in the past. Finally got around to playing it, and it was, for the most part, worth playing. Although it did make me realize how unpleasant Tomb Raider 2's gameplay could be at times. Although it was a pretty good game, the somewhat outdated enemy placement was very dickish. And I certainly didn't play Tomb Raider 3 because of that, which was fine. I wasn't really too bothered about TR3. I was mostly just interested in the nostalgia of the first two games, beating one again, and first time actually completing the second one. So, yeah, it was a good experience to get around to that. And that's kind of a thing that I suspect is going to be happening a lot more for all of us in the next couple of years. Any of those games that we either remember playing or wanted to play in the past, we'll simply just be playing remastered versions of it in the future. Hey, Robert F., Happy New Year to you as well. You know, that's certainly already been going to be useful for me, for my bucket list and stuff this year. So, you know, we're definitely in that era of where remasters are more common now than ever before of older games, which is both a good and a bad thing. It allows people to appreciate the older games, and as long as they're handled well, I'm sure the quality of life improvements are more than welcome as well. So yeah, that took me from January to March of 2025 to finish off the playthrough of Tomb Raider 1 and 2, which was pretty good. When did I... Oh god, when did I actually hit that? Oh, I can't remember. Was it early in the year, later in the year? I need to check something actually. Sorry, I should have actually checked something. When I actually did a certain stream. When was it? It was in June. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. in June. Sorry, I was just checking that. Just one thing I forgot to timeline was when I played Okupwalk. Excuse me. Do excuse that my voice is going to be a bit croaky. So obviously, around June, I finally hit 2,000 followers on this channel, a milestone which I honestly thought I wouldn't hit, since I kind of felt that in terms of metrics anyway, that this channel's growth had basically plateaued some time back. But nope, I managed to hit 2K finally, and I did as I was it. Wait, was it the? Hold on. Hold the fuck on. It wasn't a 2K follower, was it? I just realised. What the fuck am I talking about? Fuck's sake. Sorry, it wasn't 2K. 2K was playing Sunder again, and that was like last year or something. Apologies. What I meant to say is my 2,100 follower special, I guess. That is what happened instead in June. Happy New Year to you, Creduxy. Hope you've done well. Hello, Cherry. I'm just talking about Okupluck and getting the follower count incorrect because I thought it was 2,000, but it's actually 2,100. Still, ignoring that numerical oddity aside, I still felt that it was I felt it was something I wouldn't achieve, since I honestly did think that in terms of metrics, my channel had plateaued, but it hasn't. But anyway, Cherry, did you have a good New Year? Cherry, you're not saying anything. Oh, right. You have a cold? I didn't know cacodemons could get colds. I must have gave you my human cold and it transferred to you. Alright, made you completely mute. Oh. Well, that's unfortunate for you and very fortunate for us. Ow! Well, I'm sorry, but it's a bit nice to hear a bit of silence from you for a change, considering you've been very noisy over Christmas, being in your little humbug state. So honestly, a bit of silence is great. Anyway, time for a hug. You get a hug on the mustard jumper. A stream favourite. And like in your closet. In the cover. Yeah. So yeah, I attempted to play Okupluck, and I didn't get very far in Okupluck, surprisingly. Well, I hope not. I have to go back to work on the 5th. I can't afford to take... Given I'm now on an agency, if I'm off work for illness, I don't get paid, so I need to be at work as many days as possible so I receive cash. Anyway, so yeah, I played Okupluck for the 2,100 follower special, and I managed it about 2 hours before I quit, because Okupluck demands a certain degree of extreme patience, extreme trial and error, and extreme resilience to playing Doom in a very boring manner. And I just wasn't enjoying it. Despite the hype that some of you had for it, I wasn't enjoying the experience. You know, so I tried. I played it. I beat maybe the first encounter or so, and then I just went to the Kako Cavern and just didn't want to bother. So, yeah. But at least I gave it a shot. And really that might have been part of a general theme with me and Doom in last year, in 2025. That I am starting to just really, like, drift away from the more swordery side of Doom content in general. Why did I put a question mark there next to... No, it's a bit weird in my nose. That's been a sort of theme for me last year, I've always had a sort of difficulty in playing harder content in Doom, but I think last year was where I just decided I had enough of playing it outright. Like, I wasn't just going to try and get through it or lower the difficulty to get around it. I was just like plain up fed up of it. Because it just started to feel like it has genuinely been the case that, you know, in several of the projects I played last year Doom-wise, of things I was looking forward to playing to some extent, that I was having to deal with slaughter maps and difficult encounters on a more regular basis than I would have liked. And I don't enjoy slaughter content anymore. I never really probably truly did, but I used to tolerate some of it because, you know, interesting encounter design could be generated from it, or I was just that darn stubborn and resilient and I would just smack my way through it, even if it was more me banging my head against a fucking brick wall. But I don't want to do that anymore. It's not entertaining for me, it's not entertaining for you. I don't appreciate it in a proper manner. And what I find particularly irksome is the fact that I'm not looking for these hard experiences. I'm playing map sets based around interesting atmospheric ideas or community collaborations like Neon Overdrive. It's basically nostalgic entropy, but an entire megawatt full of it. You know, vaporwave aesthetic, cool cyberpunk future stuff. Or Nova 4, it's a community project designed for newer mappers, in a sense. You know? And I'm like, yay, I get to play Nova 4. I like the previous 3 Novas. And then what do I end up dealing with in these kind of WODs? Slaughter. Fucking the type of slaughter that you get in map sets like Hardfest or Junk Food or things that all the really good Doom players play on a regular basis and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm having to deal with the reality that now it is seen as widely acceptable that you can play a community project and have to suddenly upgrade your skill level from okay Doom player to hi, are you STX Vile? If not, good luck. You're going to have a bad time. You was playing the Drake O'Brien project, not so maps of also maps of Force to Darkness. Or, you know, they certainly expect people to be comfortable with the idea that the difficulty curve is just going to go whoop, way higher than ever before. Has this always been a problem in community projects in Doom? Fuck yes. But it's usually not been this, but this is just another level on top. This is like, you have to go from playing an average WOD to maybe playing some harder maps as the levels get on, to play slaughter content, baby! Fucking deal with my 2000 monster creation that takes an hour and a half to beat. Hope you know how to deal with rev corridors over and over again. Very specific setups. What do you mean you don't know how to two-shot a cyber demon? Fuck you. Go play another map set or something, you baby. No, I'm not going to apply difficulty settings to my map set. Why the fuck would I do that? It's 2012. Sunder's still the hot shit, right? Yes, I'll upset these 2 CAC awards for my community projects and not worrying about difficulty settings in 2025. No, I haven't forgiven that one map and that one project, and why should I? A difficulty setting is what you do to make slaughter maps accessible to more players so that people who can't play them might have a chance to enjoy the map anyway. And really, by this point, you should be implementing them in most maps because there's all kinds of different skill levels and stuff. That's how it works. That's kind of why there is this acceptance of slaughter content, because you can have ultra violence so the people are really good. You can have hurt me plenty or normal difficulty for normal players, and you can have the one below that for like easier for the people who struggle. And that's fine. That's not a problem. Honestly. The other three are cosmetics. It just, it's just really irksome to me because, I'm not very good at Slaughter in Doom and I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy that type of gameplay. I like Doom's gameplay, but I don't enjoy it when Doom becomes this Slaughter content because it's just boring and grindy and unfun to me. I don't enjoy that shit. And some people do, and that's great if they do. They're probably having a field day with all this stuff being implemented, but I don't know, people like myself who play WODs for other reasons other than extreme challenge are just... It's absurd how it's crept in and, But this is what it is now. There's a wider acceptance of it, and that's why I'm having to adapt accordingly, So... That's why I'm kind of beginning to feel like, in a way, I'm starting to drift a bit away from Doom stuff. Honestly. Like, not entirely. There's still plenty of good stuff out there I want to get to at some point, but that's what I've had to sort of come to terms with and try to deal with this year. The fact that I can't just play a community project now and not expect to run into at least 2 or 3 slaughter maps. The difficulty is going to go way higher, even when I'm playing on Hurt Me Plenty, which is what I've done. Now you have to be the mapper. And that's what I've done. I mean, for the first time this year, I've actually played a map set on Hurt Me Plenty right off the bat, and I haven't regretted it. That might be my standard difficulty to go to for a lot of community projects from now on, if I play them. But then I'm going to start being more selective about the types of ones that I play in the first place. I've been playing Doom stuff since 2012, regularly. And this is the first year, genuinely, the first year, 2025 I should say, was the first year where I've actually had to go, and you know what, John? You need to start playing less Doom stuff. And you need to start being very picky about what you play. Because because no longer now can you go into a community project that sounds really cool, because there could well be a tail end that's absolute horse shit and difficult as hell and unpleasant. So that happened, and I think as part of that, it's going to change how I approach playing Doom stuff in the future. Join the Hex and play as Darkside. Well, I'm joining something else instead, potentially. So, genuinely, 2025 has been the year where I've had to start curating my Doom choices more carefully. And I did. I had a massive list of bookmarks that I'd saved. I actually deleted a good chunk of that after playing the likes of Neon Overdrive, Nova 4, and Doom 2 in City Only. I think Doom 2 in City Only was probably the breaking point where it really exposed just how bad it could get. So thanks to that, now I see all these MBF 21 projects. I'm not interested unless I see there's a guarantee that Slaughter is not on the fucking table in the back end. Because I don't want to play that stuff anymore. I'm playing stuff that's more about atmosphere, that's going to stick to the guns on that and not go overboard on difficulty. Which I guess and I sincerely hope is still very much a possibility in the Doom community realm of possibilities. I hope it's not a case that now every time I want to play something that's a collaborative project, I have to say that I have to put up with these maps at the tail end of Slaughter. It'd be nice to think, hey, there's enough room out there where someone creates a map set and it is about atmosphere and it isn't about pure difficulty towards the tail end, and you can enjoy it and have a good time. TNT 2 Devolution did it. I'd like to think it's still possible that the older type mapping, I guess it starts to feel like the older type mapping experience of Doom stuff is still out there for me. That I can still play stuff like that. That I don't have to just write off a good chunk of things to play. Because I don't like having to do that, but the alternative is what? I start playing community projects and then just stop playing when I get to map 23 or something. Oh, sorry, this is all Slaughter stuff. I'm just going to skip this and we'll just conclude the playthrough there. I don't want to do that, but, this is the reality of things. This is the reality of things for a Doom player that doesn't want to play Slaughter stuff, but has to see it everywhere. So, yeah, it's a bit irksome. Because I'm not a fucking tryhard. I'm not playing on Ultraviolence. I'm playing on Hurt Me Plenty in a community project map set that's supposed to be about atmosphere. And the only atmosphere I'm getting sometimes from playing this stuff is an atmosphere of frustration that all the cool visuals don't matter a goddamn bit because you just wanted to make a map that was another room with 200 revs, a shitty bunch of arch files, that it's just another fucking Slaughter set. Atmosphere goes out the fucking window. So, yeah. Currently, difficulty is still trending towards ridiculous. I don't see it changing anytime soon. Also, hi, Tourniquet. How you doing? Yeah. And again, if there's difficulty settings, then the problem is not as big of a problem. As long as there's difficulty settings. But it goes a bit more than that. It's about the atmosphere of what happens when you bookend a community project that is about a theme with content like that. But as I've come to learn the past few months, this is what people want to see. They don't want to... They obviously have found that this is more engaging for more people. And I'm not content with just playing ridiculous map sets and ridiculous WODs that people play on Twitch and watch and don't play themselves. The type of experience where people go, this is something I want to watch, but I'd never touch it. It is the way it is. I'm clearly massively out of tune with what a wide portion of the Doom community wants. At one point, have I ever really been in touch with it? Maybe in the past I have, but time goes on, and now I'm like, this is what people want. They want harder and harder maps everywhere, all the time. They want the Treehouse Minis and the Myodens and whatnot. This is what they crave. They get bored if they have to sit through an adventure map that makes them appreciate the visual details. They can't be having that. No. Thou must have my 2,000 map Slaughter Carnage, or else I get bored. But this is all just what I feel. And honestly, that could be the biggest summary of 2025 for me right there. 2025 was the first year where I actually started to maybe get a bit tired of playing Doom stuff. Hell, I took a Doom break for several months after having played Doom stuff for several months straight. Which is something I just remembered I did do last year. I did have a period of time where I just played nothing but Doom content for a few months. Then I had a period of time where I played nothing but non-Doom content for a few months. And quite honestly, I think I enjoyed my time playing the variety more than just playing the strictly Doom content. Reminds me of why I decided upon about a year or so ago to have a nicer balance especially after the survey I took last 2024, that people prefer a bit of both Doom and non-Doom content. So that's what I've been trying to do ever since. Here's the thing, though. Going forward, I genuinely believe that I might be focusing less on Doom as a whole. I mean, there's still stuff I want to play. Of course, there's the Doom World Maximum Project 2025 is something I'm going to check out when that releases, whenever Obsidian gets around to compiling that, because, you know, it reminds me of the old Mega World, the old Mega World, fucking hell, I forgot the name of it. The Maximum Project is a precursor of the Doom World Mega Projects. Mega Projects? Was it just called the Mega Projects? Doesn't sound right. Sure it was something else. Yeah. Mega World? But they actually called Mega Worlds? Is that fucking correct? That doesn't sound right. Mega World Project? Is that what they were actually called? I thought they were called something else. Honestly. Just let me check. Oh no, they were just called the Mega Projects. Yeah, Mega Projects. Where did they get Mega World from? They're just called the Doom World Mega Projects. The DMPs. Yeah, I genuinely forgot. I'm used to calling them the Maximum Projects because they're like the spiritual follow-up. And Obsidian's already announced one for this year. And the one for last year has closed. So I'm now going to be looking forward to playing the Maximum Project 2025 when it comes out on time. Just like I used to do in the old days with the Mega Projects. Hey, Corn King, you just woke up at 4 p.m. Well, welcome to 2026. So, I'm totally talking about what happened in 2025, and I'm on to the... I want to go back, man. Well, you can't. You can only go forward. Or more accurately, you can only live in the present moment. So... I think one thing I could certainly say going forward is I was going to do this at the end after I summed up the year, but I will mention it now as well. I think people should expect me to be playing less Doom this year, because I think I'll be playing less Doom this year. Or if I do play some Doom stuff, I am going to be way more picky about what I choose to play. And I'm thinking I might be playing a lot of older content, which I still need to get around to be fair, so... But, yeah, I think I need to play more TCs, less vanilla stuff, less getting hyped for the MBF 21, and just more be very careful. Does it sound like something that's going to be ridiculous? If not, if it is, and I'm staying away from it. So, yeah. That happened this year. The first year where I actually started to think I still hope you'll give Suitepee 2 a chance. Would be awesome to see you play it. I would have to play Suitepee 1 first. That might be probably a good idea. If I was to do that. I don't. Well, I'm not going to rule it out, Robert, but we'll see. There's a couple of Doom-related things I still want to get around to. Amalgam being one of them. Doom Infinite I still need to play. Corruption cards with Doom 2 I still need to do at some point. The Maximum Project 2025, Hellcore I'd like to play. Lonesome Road because Tourniquet won a CAC award with that and I'd like to actually take a look at it. Gossip was suggested by Killer5 and he said it was pretty good. Yeah, I've played Corruption cards with Ultimate Doom, but I haven't played Corruption cards with Doom 2 yet. I think I played Corruption cards with Doom 1 in 2024, but I didn't get around to Doom 2 yet. That will happen at some point. Now, I'm not paying any respects to GZ Doom. GZ Doom can fuck off. The SDA Doom has supplanted it in all but UDMFs anyway. UZ Doom is my new best friend now. I still have GZ Doom installed on my computer though for some reason. Don't know why. I'll probably be removing that in due course. I'll keep calling it GZ Doom to cause emotional damage. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to stop playing Doom stuff because Doom has such a wide variety of things out there. But I could honestly just Doom has so much content that I could just say something as crazy as like, I'm only going to play Doom content from the 90s, and I could just go and play every 90s whatever, and I'd be set for the rest of my life. That's the beauty of it. I can dislike all this modern stuff, so I can go back and play a lot of older stuff and have a good time. But genuinely, I do... Yeah, my life won't be enough to play them all, exactly. That's the beauty of it. There's so much stuff out there. It's endless. But I definitely think that this last year, 2025, has taught me that I need to play less Doom in general. Like, not cut off completely, but play less of it. Because I think I am just also fatigued long term because I've been playing it so regularly over years. I mean, it is a fun game and it's cool, obviously, but I do feel that I'm limiting myself by just playing it as often as I have, whereas I could be going out and experiencing other things, which is what I want to start doing more often. You know, having different gameplay experiences. And that's why I have been starting to draft out plans for achieving precisely that. So, oh yeah, I also a sweet state. Well, it's an unofficial one, Depop, and it's only because I didn't stream last night. Also, Happy New Year, Depop. I'm basically doing what I wanted to do last night, but I didn't stream yesterday because my voice was not great, as it hasn't been the day before that, and my voice still isn't 100% now, to be honest. But I thought I'd take the opportunity to, probably, to do this now, while I've kind of got the bit of peace and quiet in the house for a few hours. What genres do I like? Or is it all shoes? I like other genres. I like RPGs occasionally. I like. I'm not really a big fan of RTS games because I'm god awful at them. But I like RPGs sometimes. Hey Maui, how's it going? Saw you on my feed. Do I like Doom Dark Ages? I haven't played Dark Ages yet. I currently don't have a computer to play Dark Ages, but I'm hoping to get a computer. Okay, thanks for that, Maui, I guess. But yeah, current RAM, yes, I know. RAM prices are high. I do need to get a new computer this year, though, because my storage space is starting to be an issue with my SSD. It's starting to get a bit of a problem. Generally, I just want to upgrade anyway. You know, my computer is pretty decent, but I'm gonna need to update parts anyway. I want more SSD storage space. I'm gonna have to upgrade to Windows 11 by the October this year. Anyway, I managed to extend my Windows 10 for another year. I got into the security program, so I don't have to change my OS until October, which is good. By that point, though, I'd like to get a new computer so I can finally play Dark Ages and just have an upgrade computer just for things going forward, I guess. Um, I had to upgrade my rig one more time before doing nothing for the next 5 years, but good thing is AI Bull is still a thing. Um, so yeah, he denies this. Yes, okay, Pineapple. I deny this, but I'm still not doing sweet states. This is an opportunistic stream. I mean, the alternative is that I don't do this at all, and I spend the next stream. I am planning to stream tonight, by the way. I am gonna get back to playing Control, so that will please Depop and a few of you enjoying that playthrough. Um, but I thought I'd do this beforehand so I could get it sorted. Because as I said, my plan originally was I was going to do this at the beginning of this. I was going to do this at the beginning of my New Year's Eve stream and then play Call of the Void afterwards to bring in 2026, but didn't stream at all. That didn't happen. Alan Wake. Yeah, I'm playing Control, Kuduxi. I was gifted Control by Depop, and I've been enjoying the game quite a lot so far. So I'm looking forward to playing more of that later tonight. Is it Alan Wake? Wait, I don't know. The Alan Wake universe has been mentioned in Control once or twice, so I guess there's a very thin, tenuous connection. But I've not finished Control yet. I'm still playing through the main game, so. Actually, Control is related to Alan Wake. Yes, I've been spoiled about the fact that the content of one of the DLCs is Alan Wake based. So I know that one of the DLCs is probably going to be something along the lines of go play Alan Wake locations or some shit. I don't know. I don't know the details. I was just told by somebody. I was told by Painix Killer by accident. They asked me if I had the DLCs, and he said, "Oh yeah, one of them's based on Alan Wake." And I'm like, "Oh, thanks." Anyway, well, not really. No, it's not a big spoil considering the fact that in the base game Alan Wake is mentioned, so it wouldn't have been a massive surprise anyway. But anyway, I digress. But I like various genres, Kuduxi, to get back to your question I was talking about. I do mainly enjoy like FPS, of course. I do like third-person games as well. RPGs I like playing occasionally. I don't mind puzzle games up to a point, as long as it's not stupidly difficult, you know. But I do struggle with puzzle games, but I do like some of them sometimes. I mean, I did play the Talos Principle 2 like 2 years ago, so I don't know how you didn't play Remnant yet. It is all of those genres. And then there's like a few genres I've never played a single game in that I'm looking to branch out into and try out. But yeah. Well, I have plenty of games to play, Kuduxi, so yeah. So, what was I going to say? Did you ever play The Incredible Machine? It's actually a more fun puzzle game. No, I don't think I've ever played that one. So what else happened in... Hey, Solus. Happy New Year to you. Hope you're feeling better. Very old though, 995. Dang. 90s puzzle game. Interesting. So what else did I do in 2025? Well, I did finally quit Dead by Daylight for about 4 months. First time I appeared in the Doom one, yeah, I'm getting around to that. What happened there? Well, if you've not been keeping up with the events of Dead by Daylight, and I wouldn't blame you if you haven't, basically 2025 has been a shit year for Dead by Daylight. And it's the year that's probably gonna spell the beginning of the end for the game, because behavior have exposed themselves. I've talked about a lot of this at the time when I did the farewell stream. Um, but basically, in a nutshell, behavior have exposed themselves as being a shitty company that don't care about the fucking game whatsoever. And 2025 has been the year that everyone's found out about it, and now the game has just gone very badly downhill. You know, it's basically going to die a slow death. Oh, don't start. And after having played the game for 4.5 years on a regular basis, I just had enough. I wasn't enjoying it anymore, and I quit. Now, I will clarify that I did quit, and I was never intending to come back. Yeah, exactly. They basically only cared about getting licenses, selling cosmetics, and not updating things. They've been terribly slow updating things for years, and they still are. And that's always been the case, but there used to be a bit of passion to it. They were janky and terrible, but at least it was passionate jankiness and terribleness. But eventually, I just did everything in the game. I did everything. I got all the achievements. I unlocked all the killers and survivors. I did all the adepts. I've played every thing. I've seen the game change over the years. I just had enough. You know, the core gameplay is still fun at times, but I just wasn't enjoying it. And I just decided after the Walking Dead patch, I was finished. That was it. They played their hand. They didn't give a shit about anything. And so I quit. And I stayed off for 4 months. And then I came back. But to be clear, I'm only coming back for one fucking reason. Because I still think the game is not very good. The main reason I have come back to Dead by Daylight, but I'm not going to stream it anymore. And I'm only doing it because I want to co-op with one person who's still playing it. Which is a really tenuous reason to reinstall the damn game, to be honest. But I figured it's a chance to sort of do some friendly co-op sessions with him. I've only done like 2 so far. And I've been playing a bit to catch up so I can help them out with their achievements. But yeah, I literally only came back to help out Painix Killer. Oh, what's this? Hey all, I just heard John say he wants to take a Doom break, and I started thinking, what other games have a ton of mods? Disregarding the RTS games and COD likes and Valve games, 2 games stand out as the titans, Quake 1 and Quake 2. John Suitepee, would you be interested in playing Call of the Void? It's a mod similar to the Blood X Doom mod, aka there's a story where Quake 1 and Quake 2 emerges. I have an answer for that for you. Let me just boot this up. I have a very simple answer for that for you, Doom Noob. Also, hello. It's what I was planning to fucking play on New Year's Eve. Not even kidding. My plan on New Year's Eve was to do this introduction of talking over last year and then play this. But unfortunately, I didn't do New Year's Eve stream because my voice was too ill. Yeah, this is version 2.0. I have this ready to go. It's the only reason I reinstalled Quake 2. But you'll have to wait a bit longer, unfortunately, because I'm not playing it right now. But I guess that answers your question. Time for a jump scare. Yeah. But yes. Sweet music. So a DVD stream is coming next month. No, it's really not. DB, I don't think you'd want to watch me play Dead by Daylight. I mean, I can't exactly 100% rule it out, but as I said, the only reason I've returned to... You never played the remastered Quake 2, thanks for reminding me. Yeah, hey Game and Bliss, Happy New Year to you as well. So, yeah, I absolutely am going to play Call of the Void at some point. It's on the computer, it's ready to go. I was literally going to play it on New Year's Eve. And I might get around to it this month, actually, later on, once I finish Control or something. Or as a break in between, or whenever, really. Depends how I feel like. But anyway. But the point is that I have only returned to help someone with co-op. And now I sort of unlocked the new stuff. I'm not going to spend a single penny on Dead by Daylight. I'm not going to buy any licensed stuff. I know they got some Stranger Things announced. I'm not buying it. I'm not giving him any money. You know, I'm not giving him any more cash. At all. I am literally only playing to help Paynix Killer. And if I decide to get fed up with that, then Dead by Daylight will be uninstalled and it will stay uninstalled. I have no real desire to go back to the game, even though I sometimes get enjoyment from it. It's definitely a game I'm kind of done with mostly. I'm just there to help someone out and play with them. It's just an excuse to hang out. And if they get all their achievements done, that'll be it. I'll uninstall and I won't ask any questions. So, yeah. It's just... But yeah, my reasons that I said in the farewell threat stream back in August, 21st of August, still stand. They've improved a few minor things, but the game is still what it is. It's still not fun for the most part. It seems to have gotten slightly worse for killers in some aspects for some reason. But it's just... It's just a sad shame. Because there is some genuinely good talent on Behavior that do all the visual work and the music and the sound, and it's just wasted on that game company. Also, John, you're 10 years younger now than you did 10 years ago, so I hope you keep up with the healthy lifestyle, no drinking. Yeah, I'll get around. I'm getting around to that. Don't worry. But thank you, Solus. So, yeah, I finally quit. And although I am technically playing it again, I'm not intending to stick. I'm only playing it for the purposes of helping someone in co-op. And honestly, I need to push them to play more co-op sessions with me so they can get their achievements done. You know, because I've only had 2 sessions so far ever since I've reinstalled it, and it's a big chunk of my free space, which I wouldn't mind having back, especially since I have to get Elden Ring installed on it at some point this year for the co-op sessions with Drauken and Sage. You know, I'm still going to get all these games in space and all that, so it's kind of the reason why I'm playing Control, is partly so I can uninstall that to have the space available. Since at the moment I only have like 80 gigs as free space. But anyway. So that happened this year. I finally quit Dead by Daylight after playing it regularly for 4.5 years. And I pretty much am still just... I'm only there now for co-op reasons. I do not expect to be playing the game regularly again, and I ain't giving him a single penny. So if you do see me around playing Dead by Daylight, know that it is not the same as it was, and you will not expect any streams of it on here because no one wants to watch me play Dead by Daylight on this channel. But yeah, I agree with you, Doom Noob. The Quake 2 remaster was pretty good when I played it when it came out. I like playing the expansions, and Cold and Machine was pretty good. Yeah. Each time you watch DVD, I'll leave a -1 rep in your Steam profile. Oh, don't do that, please. So yeah, that happened. What else do I need to talk about in my list? And then I had quite a busy October. Yeah, I had a busy October this year. Um, to begin with, don't tempt me to launch Dead by Daylight right now, just so I can get your shot on you early. um, so obviously I had Spooktober happen this year, last year. I keep trying to remind myself it is 2026 now. So I did Spooktober, and obviously there's quite a lot of games played in the Spooktober this time, which I'm very proud that You want to do a stream of Dead by Daylight now? I mean, if you give me another hour, I do have the dailies to do. Maybe. But I'm not intending on doing that right now. I was planning on probably hopping in afterwards just for a little bit, just to do dailies or whatever. I don't know why I should do that, to be honest, but whatever. So yeah, I played quite a variety of spooky games, although in truth most of them weren't really that scary. But I did play some interesting ones. The list I sort of compiled of all the games I got around to for Spooktober last year was Dishwasher Simulator, which was probably one of the games that had the scariest parts in it. Chicken Feet, yes, the one where I gave up on the DLC because it was rubbish. The Broken War series, well, two games in that. Broken War Don't Watch and Woe, which was just very somewhat overpriced experiences. Hollow Body, the British Silent Hill type jank game. Observation, which is a game I'd wanted to play for a good while, about the AI control, which was pretty interesting. Pig Saw, which was very brief jank. The Exit 8, which is a viral game that has gone to spawn 1 million imitators, and so was implemented in Bestiary. Who's at the Door, which you suggested, Shakar, and gifted, and that was an interesting one, which is kind of like an Exit 8 type game. Days Without Incident, from the InSound Mound creators. Scavenge, which was a scavenge game in the dark. Amanda the Adventurer, which is that game about the puzzle game based on the cartoon series. Pony Island. Unsorted Horror, which was a fun little set of short games. And then I have the Halloween stream that never was, of course, because Drauken finally launched the 1 million nuke option on Halloween night. That was something else that happened last year. The 1 million point nuke option was finally utilized by Drauken on Halloween night, so I could finish Dark Souls 3. Excuse me. Which, to be fair, was pretty good for me, as Dark Souls 3 was quite fun to play through, but it wasn't so much fun for everyone looking forward to a Halloween stream, myself included. But I did eventually get around to playing Panelak, the best horror game ever, thanks to Solus, and Revenge of the Colon, which was far more fun and probably deserved to be played on Halloween, but instead both of those were played on Bonfire Night instead. So I had quite a busy Spooktober. I won Resident Evil 8 Village, which was the final game I played in Spooktober. So I finally got around to playing another Resident Evil game. And I finally got around to playing the DLC for that just before the year ended. On another note, how does John feel about turn-based games and Warhammer 40k? There's a great mod the original XCOM adds a Warhammer 40k campaign. I can post a link if interested. I think the only time I've ever delved into a Warhammer 40k game has been Dawn of War 1. And being that was an RTS, I tried it for a bit and then quit. And that was quite a few years back. Other than that, I haven't really played a lot of 40k stuff, although at some point I do need to get around to playing Bolt Gun, which I've been gifted by, just checking on my list here, which I was gifted by Draugen. So I will get to experience some Warhammer 40k at some point. Probably not interested in the original XCOM, to be honest, Doom Noob. Although I do want to play an XCOM game at some point on my bucket list. I'm leaning more towards the modern one, not the old one, not the old 90s one. I started playing Command and Conquer Remaster from 2020 past week. How fun, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. Did a good job with that. But yeah, less RTS and more quirky puzzles. Methinks we'll wait on that then. If you get bitten by the 40k fight, it might be interesting. It's got a lonely positive response on the mod. Fair enough. I mean, Bolt Gun looks interesting, and the only other game I might have been semi-interested in having a look at is the Space Marine games. But now I've got enough to get on with. Yeah, you absolutely do. Like, you gotta deal with because the AI cheeses as well. When Command and Conquer, you built sandbags to block the enemy, and you had to build on building sites to deny the enemy from rebuilding buildings automatically. And I remember all that stuff. So yeah, I had a very busy Spooktober. And then also in October, I turned 40 on the 3rd. I hit a new age milestone. I turned 40 years old last year. And I went down to visit my family to celebrate the occasion, which was nice. So, yeah, in case you've ever wanted to wonder how old I was, I'm 40 years old now. I don't always act 40 years old. And that's both a good and a bad thing, to be honest. So, what's the...
Lordy, lordy. Look who's turning 40-40.
Yeah, always one thing to celebrate on October the 3rd. Thanks, Corn King. Weir says you don't look 40, so that is good. Yeah, I've had quite a few people say I don't look anywhere near my actual age. I mean, in my job I've got at the moment, just before Christmas, there was this old woman at the job who was surprised when I said I'm 40 years old. She thought I was more like 27. I apparently have these quite good natural looks where I look a lot younger than I actually am. So I genuinely believe I do look younger than I am, which is useful, I guess. I do have like silver hairs, grey hairs here and there, like little very small, hard to spot, but they do exist. Doom plays Stone Age. Only RTS game doesn't do that mostly is Grey Goo. Yeah, it was a bit too easy because of the time. So there's a cheating AI extra just because of it. Whoa. Yeah, the AI cheats you in most RTS games. And even if it didn't do the levels, we have to start from zero and the enemy has tons of gear. Oh, okay. I see, Depop. That's the effect of playing video games. You don't age. You just sort of stay... you just stay 27 forever. Yeah, so I turned 40 and I decided to change a couple of things. I used it as a sort of a incentive to change a couple of things in my life. And one of the things that I did change was I decided to stop drinking alcohol as of the 12th of October. So, like, I got back from my trip to see my family. I drank all the cider I was given for my 40th, and then I decided to quit alcohol again. But this time with the intention of keeping it that way for the rest of my life. So, yeah, I'm no longer drinking alcohol anymore. So, that's something I'm doing. And I have so far been largely successful in continue that. In fact, this is the first Christmas slash New Year period I've had since I turned 18 where I haven't had drinks over the festive period. It's been quite refreshing, to be honest. You know, I genuinely do like getting up in the mornings on weekends and holiday time and not having my head be sore for 5 hours afterwards and spend half the day recovering from a couple of hours of alcohol poisoning last night. And yeah, so although I did have like 2 glasses of Bucks Fizz and 1 cider because my mum accidentally purchased a regular cider drink alongside the non-alcoholic cider drinks that I now have, I decided to drink it just to get out the way. So that's all I've had over Christmas. I have... Come on, broski. How are you going to usher in New Year's this year? Well, hopefully a bit better than last year. Hopefully I'll either be out somewhere or I will be actually streaming for New Year's 2026 instead of having my voice betray me and get a fucking cold. I'm still annoyed at that. I was getting really hyped for a New Year's stream and I can't do it because my voice is like I can't do this. Too coffee. That's a good thing, John. Ethanol has a lot of negative effects on metabolism and health, not just neurologically, but in systems as well. Well, yeah, I mean, I've been drinking for 22 years. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to start going on some kind of crusade where I tell you all to stop drinking and start saying, well, I'm holier than thou because I don't drink. I just speak from my own personal experiences. I've been drinking for 22 years, and it can be fun sometimes when to loosen you up a bit. But quite honestly, in the last few years, I've just not enjoyed it as much as I used to. The benefits have just been like, what, I feel a bit lightheaded and okay for a couple of hours at night, but I get tired. I like... Send some to John. Don't send any to me. Go give it to someone else. Yeah. Well, we should beat Sheffield Wednesday today, and we'll get to 40 points, and then, you know, we'll hopefully do all right. So, also, you try fucking playing tough games like that where you've got half the squad injured, and, you know, you seem to forget that in the Championship, we're one of the clubs with one of the lowest budgets. We don't have any fucking... We have injuries and fucking all sorts, you know. Of course everyone's going to struggle. Especially playing against a Wrexham team. But, I mean, tell you one thing, Solus, we only conceded twice against Wrexham. Sheffield United fucking conceded 5 times. That says a lot. We were tougher to beat than they were. Win the Champions League if they had the right manager. Yeah, if they had you in charge, Depot. And if you donated around £200 billion into the club, then great. Probably would. I'll be honest, I've always felt more like John when drinking, hence why I became a teetotaler. With that, and I hate the burning sensation and strange taste of alcoholic beverages. Yeah, I mean, that's just what I've started to feel like. I didn't used to mind as much, and I did cut down like I used to, but the thing was is that I wasn't doing anything with it, and it's getting more expensive. There was just too many reasons adding up at the same time that just made me want to stop. I wasn't enjoying it personally. You know, I was getting tired of the hangovers on weekends. So, like, I get to Friday, I have a couple of drinks, and I wake up at about 11 o'clock on a Saturday. My head's pounding, and it takes me half a day to get rid of that. To then drink on the Saturday night, to then experience the same on Sunday, and then I'm back at work. And I feel like it's just wasted, you know? And I'm not getting the enjoyable benefit of feeling a bit lightheaded for a few hours. Because... you know, when I was a bit younger, you know, when I was younger and doing that kind of thing, I could get away with doing some of that because I would be able to like go out for a couple of hours, come back home, and then still play games or watch videos for a few hours or going to bed at like 2 or 3 in the morning, right? Honestly. Yeah, feel like sinners to have fun, yeah. But the thing was, in the last few years, my typical pattern went from me like going out on a Friday night, having a few drinks, coming back home, maybe having an extra cider can or two, staying up till 2 or 3 in the morning, and then going to sleep, you know, and me always gaming or watching videos or watching a stream or whatever. It went from me doing that to sort of me being where I would go out on a Friday night or whatever, I'd have a few drinks, and I would come back home at about 11:30, 12, because pubs fucking close like before midnight in my local area. And I'd come home and I would start to try to do the things I'd used to do, like, oh, I'm a bit lightheaded, I'm a bit drunk. I'm gonna sit here and play Dead by Daylight or watch a YouTube video for until 2 or 3 in the morning and make the most of this period of time. And you know what fucking started happening? I started falling asleep. I would start falling asleep. I'd get home and I'd sit down at about midnight, start putting a YouTube video or start playing a game or whatever, and then about half an hour later, and a fucking hour's passed, and I wake up and I'm like, oh, what happened? Did I fall asleep on my keyboard again? And then I'd stay up for another hour after that, and then I'd go to bed. Wow, what an exhilarating and exciting expenditure of time that was. I can't even fucking stay up, you know. And it almost became like I'm just drinking for the sake of it, to get that buzz, but I can't even stay awake for it. So what benefit am I getting? I'm not getting any benefit. I feel slightly lightheaded and I can't stay awake into the late night. And truth be told is that for the last couple of days anyway, I have been staying up till about 1 in the morning and I've not needed a drink to do it. Because I've been watching streams or whatever. And if I'm tired, I just go to bed. You know, if I'm not doing it and I'm genuinely like, I'm fucking done, I'm done. That's it. No, I don't like coffee. I'm not going to start drinking coffee. Coffee is basically alcohol in the daytime as far as I'm concerned. So, no. So, yeah. And then combined with the fact that alcohol's getting more expensive to drink, and I just didn't see the point anymore. You know, I've done it for so many years, and I don't want to do it. It's not fun anymore. I don't find it fun to go out and lose my head, especially when I'm like going out and playing poker or whatever. I'd rather stay sober and do something for a few hours, and if I'm tired, I'm tired. I go to sleep. You know, a lot of it was just like filling the void, filling the boredom void. Well, I don't like the taste of coffee, so I've never liked it. So, too expensive, yeah. I've just, you know, it's, what was I going to say then? Bad habits are becoming an expensive hobby anyways. Yeah, and it's all just about the a lot of it has just been about the boredom of the void. You know, killing the time, not really like doing anything well, just filling the void of boredom by getting drunk, and I don't want to do that anymore. Genuinely. Well, it's actually raining outside. Not seen rain outside for a couple of days. So I just had enough, and that's why I decided to stop doing it, you know. I mean, and I don't regret it, because I previously had quit alcohol for 9 months a few years ago, and then I relapsed at Christmas time, and I went back to it. And I just don't enjoy it anymore. I mean, and heck, even when I had that one cider a few days ago, just to get it out the way, the alcohol tasted, I could taste the alcohol. It didn't taste great. I was like, ugh, that's what it tastes like with the alcohol injected into it? No thanks. I'll pass. And I after getting used to it for a couple of days, I felt like it was perfectly a lot better. I wake up now on my own accord and I can just start the day immediately. I might be a bit tired sometimes, but I'm not like with a headache that lasts 3 hours now. So, yeah, I did that in October as well. And I will continue to do so. I'm really looking forward to getting to the 12th of October this year and saying with proud triumph, I have gone one whole year, more or less, without drinking any alcohol, like I used to. I found better ways to spend my time. I may still have to deal with the boredom void, but you know what? I'm finding better, cheaper ways to deal with it. Period. You know? Well, good. Cool. And the health benefits are obvious. It's helped me lose weight. I spend less, which is great. I've got a lot of my expenses reduced this year. I only have 2 monthly expenses now, my phone and my YouTube sub. The cost of living isn't great. And I managed to start saving my money up. And now I've got less reasons to spend money and trying to be more productive in the right way. Filling the boredom void by doing things is what I need to be doing more of, Or if I'm just genuinely tired, go to fucking sleep. Get up earlier on a weekend so you can go out and do more stuff, Stay active. Don't just, do nothing. So, yeah, that happened in October. And then, on top of that, on the 29th of October, I set out a list which some of you will probably have seen on my Discord, which I will bring into... just let me just get rid of all the spelling corrections so you can see it clearly on the stream. And there we go. I came up with this, the bucket list, as I call it, the long-term bucket list, or games I want to play on stream before I'm unable to anymore, which is an idea I've kind of muted for a decent chunk of 2025, and I finally sat down on a stream and actually set out a list of things I wanted to play. And this is the list I came up with. So this is not something I'm rushing to do like this year. This is something I'm planning to do for the next 10, 20 years or something like that. It is also entirely possible that maybe it gets slightly modified, but it shouldn't really at this point. But yeah, I came up with a list of games. I mean, you have heard me talk about these kind of games in the past, like Tomb Raider, which I obviously played this last year. But I sort of came up with a list of games of various things I wanted to get through at some point. And I can actually start to get around to one or two of these this year, in fact. For one thing, I was gifted Res by Fuzzball, so that one is ready to go. Thanks to hearing about Fatal Frame 2 remake a few days ago, and then being gifted the Fatal Frame 2 remake by Draugen, that comes out in March, so I might be playing that in March when it comes out. It might be nice to finally play a fucking modern game on launch day. Haven't done that in a while. And it's a game I've wanted to play. I was looking to maybe try and get into the original PS2 version, but fuck it, it's a remake. That'll do. So I might cover that. And then a few others I can obviously get around to at some point when I decide to play them. But yeah, this is my full list of things that hopefully over the next 10 or 20 years I get around to, and I will cross them off when when I get through them. I'll put the strike through, and over time this list will shrink. And to be honest, I have a lot of games on this list are far more interesting ones, actual to play lists. What, the gifted games list, you mean, Tourniquet? Yeah, I mean, a good chunk of these I actually have access to now. I mean, I have Max Payne 1 and 2 on Steam, but it's the older versions that are a pain in the ass to run. I believe there may be remasters of those coming. I don't know. Hey, thanks for the follow, Deboda. Much appreciated it. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the gifted list as well, don't worry. A GTA game, I have Vice City, and obviously GTA 6 comes out later this year, supposedly. So, Before I'm not able to anymore, what are you playing, John? I'm talking about before I get to the point where maybe I get too old to stream games anymore, Corn King. That's what I'm implying. It's like, obviously I enjoy streaming, but there may come a point in the future where I get too old and I can't do it anymore. So before that arrives, I've said, I obviously can't play every game ever made, but I'd like to have said at least I've played these kind of games, to add these experiences before that point. I'm going to be on Twitch forever and ever. I mean, fuck it, I live to 100 years old and I'm still streaming by that point, and I'm not been replaced by an AI or something, then great. I'll stick around if I can. I'm not intending on stopping, I just have to understand that one day I might not be able to actually do so. But who knows what could happen. But yeah, I do have StarCraft 1. I do have the remaster for that. Max Payne 1 and 2 I've got on my computer. GTA 6 is supposedly coming out later this year, but I don't know if that's one I'll pick. Sonic game, I should have easy access to most of those. Arguably same with Castlevania. Yakuza 0 I already have, but I've been advised to wait for Director's Cut. A Civ 4 game, I have 5, and I could get Alpha Sim 2 if I need to. Yeah, so this is... Sorry, I won't go for the whole list. I did that on the stream when I did set this up in the first place. But yeah, I set up this bucket list of things I want to play long term. So I'm hopefully going to get around to playing one or two of those this year. I mean, as I said, Fatal Frame 2 remake comes out in March. I've been gifted Res. I'd like to play that at some point this year. And I may tackle one or two of the others. We'll see what develops. But this is my list. So it is available on my Discord as well if you're on my channel. And I do update, and I will be updating the pinned messages on my Discord when the games are crossed off. So I mean, I don't intend to add to this list. I'm pretty sure this is all the games I can think of I've wanted to play. I can't think of anything else particularly, but we'll see. All right, so that's that. That's something I also did. In October. Yep, and slip it back up there as such. So yeah, as I said, I had a very busy October. Spooktober, turned 40, gave up alcohol, made the bucket list. Yeah. And then November came around. And I was also quite busy in November as well. I also then came up with a gifted game list. As well. So give me another sec to get this one adjusted. Oh, for God's sake, I have to go forward. Ignore. I wish it would not spell check. It's very annoying. But whatever. It's all good. Just give me a sec here to... Don't know why I even bothered putting the screen back. I was just... Sorry. Alright, so I also came up with a gifted game list of all the games I've been gifted by people in the past. I can think of one, the JRPG to play. If you were to ever play another RPG, Final Fantasy VII modded, as in the original from Windows 98, there was a lot of great mods for it, and I get to see any streamer ever stream the PC version absolutely not modded. Okay. I kind of played Final Fantasy 9 and 10 in the past. I'm not really bothered about playing another Final Fantasy game, to be honest. I feel like I've played enough Final Fantasy games. I've played 9, I've played 10. I spent a bit of time in 14 for a few months. I'm kind of... Yeah, I feel like I've had my fill of Final Fantasy games, to be honest. I'm not too bothered about playing any more of them. I consider Final Fantasy 9 to be the peak of FF games. Wow, rainbow. Oh, that's nice to see outside. Got a rainbow. So don't expect me to be playing that. If anything, I'm more interested in playing a Dragon Quest game, as you would have seen on my long-term bucket list. I haven't played a Dragon Quest game, and that's something I do want to do at some point. So yeah, this is a gifted game list. These are all the games that have been gifted by people in the past. And I've compiled them together into a list. And it is my intention to very slowly make my way through this list in the next 10 or so years. It is, yeah. Now obviously I could have just ignored a lot of these and just played them or not played them. But I really felt like, you know, it gives me an incentive to play different games in a way. And I feel it's only fair that having been gifted these games, I should be playing at least a good chunk of them. So although I did abandon requests a few years back, you know, like there used to be request lists for Doom Wards and other games, this is kind of a way of doing it in a way that also, well, after some manipulation and adjustments thanks to Depop, we have now come up with a fair system that will enable this list to stay finite and allow me to actually get around to the process of playing the games. Because I cannot stress enough that I have more than enough games to play. I do not need any more games for a very, very long time, I don't think. What I do need is to be given the time to play them. And that's what this list is going to help me do. So, this has also been updated, by the way. This is not the version that's on the Discord at the moment. Now, I'm going to update that when I complete Control. This is also consisting of the Christmas gifts I was given from Drauken, Tourniquet, Pineapple, Fuzzball, and Shakar. Sage, and Sage as well. They also gifted something. Yeah, this also contains the times of the games to give me an idea of how long they'll be, so I know how long it will take. Because what I want to start doing in 2026 is I want to start playing these games, like in any order really. You know, trying to get through the list and experience these games that people have spent the time and money to gift. So I came up with this list, and then I came up with the redeem that people could request a game from the list, which is currently disabled because I'm playing an ongoing game with Control by Depop, which I'll be playing tonight, by the way, so there'll be more Control later. So the original thing was I came up with the list, and then people could request a game from the list for 50,000 channel points, and I would prioritize that game as the next one to be played when I wasn't playing a Doom-related thing. And the first thing that was actually redeemed was Papetura by Depop. which I played and enjoyed. Then it was Stray that was requested by you, Solus, or technically Leah did. And then after that, Depop came up with an exploit. The exploit being that since this was a gifted game list, if you simply gift the streamer a game and then immediately request it, it counts. So Control did that with Control. They gifted me Control and then immediately requested it. Which led to the problem. Because technically it's basically a way of, it's a form of request list via a gifted game proxy. Which means none of these games could ever be played because someone could go, oh, I want John to play Red Dead Redemption 2. I'll give them Red Dead Redemption 2 and request it. Ta-da! Now they play it next. Yay! Workaround. So, after some deliberation, I came up with an idea to prevent this problem. And that is a simple method, which I'm just going to bring up real quick. Just give me a moment. And that was, well, I would allow that method to be done. However, going forward, people can now only gift me games from my wish list, which I also want to reduce, and actually has been reduced quite a bit thanks to the Christmas period. So the deal going forward is this. If people want to gift me a game, and I will stress, you don't have to do this, because I have so many games to play, I am not short of things to fucking play. But if you must gift me something to play on the stream, do it from the request list. Do it from the wish list. So you can still do the loophole of immediately gifting a game and requesting it, but it's from a list of 38 games. It will reduce. So eventually the idea would be, if people want to do this enough times, you could. But eventually the wish list will be 0. And then you'll have no choice but to engage with the list that's already there. And that way, all the games will eventually get played over the next 10 or 20 years. And thus, I think this is the fairest system I could come up with. Now, obviously, some of these games haven't come out yet, but a good chunk are still out and whatever. But yeah, there you go. And I have modified it. I've removed some stuff I'm not interested in and taken out some extra games here and there or whatever. So yeah, I came up with this system and it's now working just fine. And the reason you don't see the redemption on the channel points at the moment is because Control's being played and the redeem won't be back until Control is finished. And that's going to take a bit of a while, probably a couple of streams into the new year, to be honest. So yeah. So yeah, as you can see, I have a lot to get on with. And what I want to try and do throughout this year is to start to whittle this list down a bit. Because although the redemption is there, I will exercise the right when it's to play these games in any order I see fit. So I will be trying to whittle them down over the next couple of years. So yeah, that's a thing. And this is also posted on my Discord, and it's also linked and updated on the redemption. So you can get a picture of the updated when it becomes available again. Will be available on the redemption link, redemption channel point redemption, and on Discord as well. As you can see, a hell of a lot of games there. So when you see this kind of list that I've got to play, you can fully understand why I say, don't gift me stuff. You're under no obligation. I have so much to play. You can understand that, yeah, John Suitepee has quite a lot to be getting on with. Maybe we should give them some space to play it. Not all of these games are really short. Quite a few lengthy, chunky ones in there, like Dead Space, Saints Row 2022. Ugh, I'm not looking forward to that. But, you know. Torchlight 2, yeah. That'll be a chunky one. There's actually not that many games that are super long, to be honest, to be fair. There's quite a lot of games that are reasonably shortish. But still, I mean, Control's caught me on 20 plus hours. I've not even got to the fucking DLC yet. So who knows how long that's going to take. Not that I mind. I'm enjoying Control, so I'm not in a rush to play it. So yeah. Yeah. So. Now I will pop my screen back again. Pop. There we go. Okay, so that also happened in 2025. A bucket list, a gifted game list. So what else did I do in 2025? Well, I finally got around to playing Dead Sea Scrolls, the fully released version, which was fun to play. You remember Beg or Big Eye Guy's Dead Sea Scrolls that I play tested early in the year and then released near the very end of 2025? And then Dead Sea Scrolls won a CAC award last year. I did nominate Dead Sea Scrolls to win a CAC award. It was quite late into the year, but I did nominate it after playing it for a CAC award because I felt that Dead Sea Scrolls was quite interesting for a vanilla Ultimate Doom one, and I felt it deserved some credit because it was quite a fun experience. Well, what do you know? Dead Sea Scrolls, surprisingly, won a full CAC award. And you know what that means, right? It meant that I received several comments implying I somehow had won it a CAC award by myself. I am not joking about this. There was some jest at my expense saying like, wow, John, you just won Dead Sea Scrolls a CAC award. I have the power. Which I don't. I'm willing to bet quite a few other people also played it and enjoyed it and saw what I saw, which was it was a pretty interesting experience. So, yeah, well, you need to finish it first, Solus, and it has to be good. You know, I'm not going to nominate it for a CAC award just because I'm in it. It has to still be good on its own merits, and from what I've seen, you're trying to throw in so many ideas. I'm hoping you'll be able to maintain some level of quality as you play through it. I'm doing it already. All right. I'm deleted, that's it. Beware, Charles. You had to make space for something much, much better and cooler. Yeah. So it was kind of interesting to see that. I mean, it was nice that Dead Sea Scrolls won a CAC award for the hard work that Beg and Shape... What was that? Shapeless Cube? I think it was Shapeless Cube. It was the musician behind the tracks in that, if I remember the name correctly. And there was a third person as well who did some playtesting. I can't remember their name. Meatball Fiend, was it? I think. Well, that's good. I look forward to playing the full version of Bestiary. But it was kind of nice to play some passion projects that came to fruition, you know. I mean, Dead Sea Scrolls was... I recognised its quality from the playtest. The full version did not disappoint either. And Bestiary, which Solus has been working on this entire of last year, I finally got to playtest it twice. And that seems to be coming along very well from what I've played. I would be looking forward to playing the full version of Bestiary whenever it comes out. So it's nice to see these smaller passion projects come along, you know, and get some recognition. So that was good. It was a pleasant surprise. I thought that at best it would receive an honourable mention or something, but it just won a full gag award, which was very impressive. Yeah, I'm not going to dwell on. I sort of went over that when I ranted about Slaughter earlier. And at least Rule Only was better, but anyway. So that was a thing that happened, you know. It kept enough of my faith that I still enjoy some Doom stuff. So yeah, that's all that happened in 2025, pretty much. Hey, suck on the run. Happy New Year to you as well. You coming in. And that's all that happened. Nothing else happened in 2025. Nothing major happened whatsoever. Oh, well, except this, of course. You know, except for the map set that single-handedly managed to get me into fucking Quake maps. After threatening to play this for a decade. I finally, fucking finally, played Arcane Dimensions. After being told to play this for a year, 10 years. And boy, was it worth it. I need to get to Alkaline. I need to get to a lot of things. I'm touching upon that. This for me was the big thing at the tail end of 2025. Amidst the sea of suffering in doom and suffering to get a stable new job, there was a bright stream of hope. And that bright scheme of hope was playing this map set. My first real sort of Quake experience that outside of anything in a remastered thing. You know? Oh, you're already dead. And this was the best map within it. So yeah, I played Arcane Dimensions. And also Dwell in the tail end of 2025. And I'll tell you what, I do this without exaggeration. These two map sets have single-handedly got me into playing Quake stuff. You know, showing me just how much cool stuff that Quake has to offer. You know, a sort of community I had criminally overlooked for a very long time. Not because I thought it was bad or anything, I just wasn't really thinking it was something I could really run or would blow my mind, but... '30th anniversary. Oh yeah, you're right. It will be, won't it? Hey Turok, how's it going? Quake is best shake. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not kidding. I was recommended this like a decade ago. And I always kept saying, oh, I'll play it one day, I'll play it one day, I'll play it one day, I will play Arcane Dimensions. You all keep telling me it's like the best thing ever. I'm gonna play it, I'm gonna play it. And I never got around to it, and then I did, and it just completely blew my mind how good it was. You know, I had no idea that Quake was capable of maps of this quality. You know? And after that, you know, I mean, you know, particularly of like note in, particularly of like note in all of the and this is Dwell, by the way. The other map set I played, which was fun in a different sense. Oh, this is D1F2. The duet with duet. I mean, for me particularly, what was particularly interesting about discovering this stuff, honestly, last year, was that I had been going on for quite some time in the Doom community sense of like me going like, why can't there be more things like Hellbound or Lost Civilization where the maps are like fun to play and there's a bit more of an emphasis on atmosphere or, you know, exploration or whatnot. And you know, after playing all the Suitepee stuff, and then all I had to do to solve that problem and play something that was more for me was just switch the game to Quake. That's what I particularly found interesting for me personally. Oh crap. Say that again. I didn't know shamblers could block each other from the I didn't know shamblers could block lightning attacks from each other. Didn't know that. Well, I just had no idea that the Quake community offered this level of quality. I wasn't saying it was inferior to Doom or anything. I I just had no idea that this was the kind of experience I could ask for. And again, this is the kind of thing I wanted to see in Doom. You know, yes, there could be some challenging maps. I'm sure Quake does have some. But Shamblers do sight checks on light. Yeah, I know they did that. I didn't realise that the lightning from the Shamblers actually was blocked by other Shamblers. There's... Where's sort of ridiculous difficulty, huh? Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you used it to sort of negate the yeah, it makes sense. It allows for the carnage, but without it being cheap. It's kind of how like in Doom you can get away with using a ton of arch valves sometimes because a good chunk of the time they infight each other, so you won't get the full sort of... I may have to stop myself if I just play out this whole map normal. I was just using this as an example of how good Dwell's design is, but... Hey, Obarke. How you doing? I missed that guy. I mean, if it's going to do much, it's quite shock how inside the level design after this. So yeah, needless to say, I think you kind of get an idea how much I enjoyed playing Quake stuff. Oh, seem to have misremembered how that ambush works. mean, okay, granted, I've dipped my toes into Quake by playing two of its most widely regarded map sets, but still. That's usually what... I don't feel that's a bad thing, though, because it's the same kind of thing I'd recommend to people playing Doom. You know, you want to start with something that showcases how good it can be. Many Doom mods were made for people who have played countless maps for decades and know the game intimately rather than for someone who just finished the game for the first time. Oh. That's an interesting perspective to say on that, Doom noob. I do wonder if that's the reason why you see Slaughter stuff coming into these things in part is because it's just a serious swim. Oh my goodness. Remember that secret. Okay, so welcome to my secret playthrough of Dwell again. It's all a lie. I just wanted to play Dwell again, everyone. I didn't want to actually do anything else this stream. Man, this map's still fun. Do you know how often I've ever replayed a Doom map on stream? Like that? I don't think I've ever done that. Very often, a full playthrough of just a small Doom map just to showcase a thing. Like, the feel I got from these map sets, Dwell and Arcane, is that it's very possible to have maps in Quake that are about exploration, architecture. Yes, difficulty comes into it, but there's something there. It's more fun. It's not about, I want to make the hardest Slaughter map ever because everyone else is doing it. There's more of a feeling of fun and engagement and stuff like that, you know. So the bottom line is that after playing these two map sets, I've been convinced to play a lot of other Quake stuff, and in 2026 you will see me play more Quake stuff. I already have the Brutalist jams ready to go, the two that are available and the one to come. I have Alkaline, I have Tur Shibboleth, and a decent amount of recommendations to come in the future. You know. Oh yeah. I mean, how could I not? I've been shown that my answer to all my whining of why can't I see more Hellbound? Why can't I see more Lost Civ? The answer wasn't go look for it in Doom. The answer was install Iron Whale, play Quake stuff instead. Ta-da, you get exactly what you want. You get the reasonable difficulty, the fun maps again. The thing that, you know, has been solely lacking. And so, for me, it just surprised me. I mean, when I went into Arcane Dimensions, I thought that Arcane Dimensions was going to be pretty good. I wasn't doubting it wasn't going to be bad or anything. I thought it was going to be pretty good. I just didn't realize how much of an impact it was going to have on, you know, oh god, wait. What's this doing at the bottom? Playground. Yeah, this is the Brutalist jam. This is something I'll be playing once Control's finished. This is just the very is there a map down here? Oh, that's just a way back up, I guess. Yeah. I'll just teleport back up. Yeah, this is why Depop wanted me to play Control. It's all about Brutalist architecture. This and the sequel, and the sequel to come. So I will be playing these once Control's done. Same music for both, huh? Alkaline, which is a sci-fi version of Quake, which is meant to be pretty darn good. I mean, that's the thing I also received from dancing. Oh my god, there's a bow map set in this. Oh, no, John, don't go into the light. I didn't know there was a... Oh, actually, I did know there was a battle map set in this, to be fair. I think I was told last time. There's a... No! No! Don't do it! No! I wasn't meant to actually go near those. No! No! Step away. Get in there! No! I can't enjoy another battle right now. It's not the time. I knew about a map in this. I think a few of the... But yeah, as I said, the main thing that I got was like, when I started playing Arcane Dimensions and well, it's just how many like recommendations I was given by quite a few of the Quake regulars, as it turns out, that were out there, you know. Like I was recommended this by likes of Zettabyte, Depop, Sock, Mazu. There's a Greenwood map in this, that's cool. Ow. Oh god, there's a Mazu map in this. Oh my goodness, there's a Mazu map in collaboration with Greenwood. Holy shit. Restroom. Oh, that's a cute detail. Yeah. So yeah, I was given so many recommendations for cool things to play. And of course, this as well, Tersh Shibboleth, which supposedly has the most ridiculous rescaled maps, among the most ridiculous rescaled maps in the whole of Quake. I want to stress that this building here, this massive building is apparently not background detail. You apparently go into that building as part of this map. Although I've also been told the combat in this one is extremely weird, but it doesn't matter. The scale of this map is what caught my attention. But damn, does it look cool. But yeah, needless to say, there will be more Quake on this channel this year. A lot more Quake. Anyway, don't want to get too excited over that because I could be here for a while if I kept doing that. So yeah, it is, and it really blew my mind just how much I enjoyed it. So of course I'm going to play more Quake stuff. Alright then quit Quake before the temptation is big and start bloody Control already. Well, I'm already 20 hours into Control. Is it 20 hours I've played now, or is it a bit more than that? Yeah, 21 hours. And I'll be playing more tonight in a few hours' time. Oh, there's the moon. Maybe I should make an easier map set for Doom. Never thought about how most mods are difficult these days. You'd work Quake as well, but I don't know if your computer can handle it. The fun thing about Shibboleth is that every map is so different from each other, even though it's the same map. Yeah, you told me it's a bit all over the place, but we'll get to it. I mean, I'm going to be sort of taking breaks around playing the Brutalist. I mean, hopefully by the time I get around to the Brutalist jams, the third one will be out. So my plan is to play all three of them. Not back to back to back. Might be a bit excessive to play a bunch of Brutalist themed stuff over and over again, but I'm certainly going to play them in relatively quick succession for a while. So yeah. And overall, that's kind of how 2025 panned out. And then Christmas came around, I started playing Control, I was gifted a bunch of games, I gifted out a bunch of games, and here we are. Couldn't do a New Year's Eve stream because my voice gave out, so I'm doing this now, and here we are. So that's kind of a summary of the year. You know, I finally played the Tomb Raider series. I finally got around to playing Quake stuff. I finally played Arcane Dimensions. I have a wish list of gifted games. I have a bucket list, Spooktober. I'm starting to get a bit tired of playing nothing but hard Doom shit. I tried Okupuk and gave up. I finally quit playing Dead by Daylight for the most part. And Dead Sea Scrolls, yeah. So, yeah, overall, and obviously, of course, I turned 40, gave up alcohol, and I'm losing weight and trying to keep going forward with that going into the new year. Excuse me. So, actually, I do want to nip out for something a bit later, but I'll do that in a little bit. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I recommend you give Quake a try. It's pretty good. Oh, is that the link for VK Quake? I don't mind. Can I grab that as well while we're at it? I could use that. Yeah, I could use that as well, actually. I need VK Quake. I'm going to play Majonia at some point. I don't know how you say. How the heck you say that? I need to look into that for Majonia. Should recommend to play with it and all other stuff in the future. It's absurdly high-end spec. Yeah, I'd recommend if you're going to get into Quake or Barcade, apparently the two main source ports are Iron Whale. Iron Whale being kind of, sort of like a DSDA Doom type equivalent. And VK Quake is kind of, sort of meant to be like a UZ Doom equivalent, but it's more high-end spec for the really advanced stuff. But yeah, I've been playing on Iron Whale, which is pretty handy. Having the accessibility of running a Quake has been helpful. So, what's going to happen? Now I've talked about 2 hours later and one Quake map played later, what am I going to be doing this year in 2026? Yes, Game and Bliss, I will be playing some Control in a couple of hours. I am keen to get back to playing more Control. I've got a lot of side stuff to do in it. So, yeah, I will be... Can I actually while I'm here, I'm just going to take care of something real quick while I sort of ponder over my stuff. Just ignore the sounds. I'm just setting up something for later. Oh, really? See ya. Okay, there we go. I'm not interested in that shit. I don't know who the fuck you are. Okay, that's Control's screen set up for later. I got so many side quests to do in Control, but there's a good chance I probably spend the entire stream tonight doing nothing but playing the side content, and then it ends with like, right, so anyway, I'm supposed to go to the Prime Candidate Lab and help Dylan out. It's like, no, sorry, side objectives only. Yeah, I don't get how that works. Hey, mate, I really enjoy your streams and love being part of your community. Yes, because I always recognize that you know, that vital community member. Someone putting in a password for a name. You know, we've been around for decades, right? Yeah. Yeah, so, anyway. So what is there for people to look forward to in 2026 for this channel? Well, I've thought I've gone over a few pointers throughout the review of last year. So one thing I think you are going to expect this year is there's going to be less focus on Doom and probably a lot more on Quake going forward. Now, this probably shouldn't come as a surprise to what I've just talked about, but yeah, I have largely been known as being a channel that plays a decent amount of Doom stuff, and I still enjoy playing some Doom stuff, but I cannot stress this enough. I have been playing Doom stuff regularly for fucking 13 years, and I'm maybe just a bit fed up of it, especially now it's getting more difficult to play, because if that's the case, as Doom Noob has inferred, that stuff's being made now more designed for people that have played it for years, well, okay, but it's getting too difficult for me to handle the higher stuff later on. It's not something I enjoy. And although I do feel that even before this year, I was starting to slightly feel the fatigue, because you can only play like vanilla-y, non-TC related Doom stuff for so long before you do start coming across the same scenarios over and over again. There's always going to be less room to impress a player who's well versed in how a game works, which I think is also part of it. You know, the old familiarity breeds contempt, in a sense. You know, and I do feel that, you know, I could predict, you know, there's obviously it'd be harder to impress someone or do something that's really cool. It still happens. There's always a possibility of happening, but I think that part of the reason why I've been impressed with the Quake stuff is because I don't know much about the Quake engine. I don't know much about Quake community. So all this stuff like learning about meta secrets and Bowl's post boxes and the fact that, you know, the music is different and the level design is different and so on. It's just new and interesting to me. And it is really cool to see all that stuff is possible and enjoyable. You know, it's like a new experience, a new rabbit hole to jump down and explore. Wow, this map set looks cool, and this looks cool, and now I can play all this stuff, and it's easy to set up for the most part. You know? Whereas in Doom, yes, there's MBF 21 and all its stuff, but I've seen gameplay. I've seen the rev traps and the archvile traps and the mancubus setups and the pop-ups and the sneaky traps and the silent teleports and the portals and the fucking slides into difficulty, and I've seen a lot of the tricks to offer. You know. Just you wait. And there's still room for to be pressed, but things are getting harder. I've played a lot of Doom. I need to start playing different things. And Quake, for me, I think in 2026 is where I'm going to put a bit more of my time. The 30th anniversary is also quite a nice timing, but it wasn't on my mind. So yeah. There will still be Doom stuff on the channel. I mean, I am going to play the Doom World Maximum project when it comes out, which will probably be later this month or whatever. But what I will say is that expect me to start playing less stuff. And if I do, I'm going to start playing things I'm more careful of curating. I'm not going to play the newest Doom thing just because it's, I'm going to be more like, okay, how much slaughter does this have? There's like a few older things I want to take a look at, like Hellcore, for instance, as well. I'm sure you can, but okay. So I'm not entirely abandoning Doom playthroughs of some Doom things, but I think when I do play them, it is going to be more curated. I'm going to delve more into TCs and stuff like that instead of just playing yet another vanilla map set. I do think I need to mix it up on that front too, where I do look for something that tries to provide a bit more of a slightly different experience to the vanilla Doom. I think that will also help. More TCs like Shrine or whatever. That kind of thing. Yeah. And as I said, I still got corruption cards to play. I've got Doom Infinite to check out. There will be room for some Doom stuff, but the type of Doom stuff I'm going to play and the difficulty I'm going to play it on is going to be different from now on. I mean, I have set up a playlist of 2026 Doom stuff. I expect that to be quite a bit less by the end of the year compared to most other years. I've had the thing, I'm sort of starting to pivot away from just being seen as only the Doom guy in a sense. I still enjoy helping out with the Doom stuff, but I think I want to start to just not just only do that. I want to spend more time in Quake stuff because that's new and interesting and more fun for me. So you'll be seeing more Quake. And believe me, aside from the stuff I've just shown, I have quite a few other recommendations I haven't installed yet that you might get to see over the next couple of years. So, yeah, expect more Quake is what I could say. It's to the point where, I'm going to start dividing my time a bit more with, the two halves of the stream. I've got the Doom half of the stream and the other games in the past. We'll expect now the half that has the Doom to have more Quake in it as well. So, yeah, you can expect that this year and going forward. That I spend less time with Doom in general. And I'm also going to be trying to play a lot more other games. Obviously, the fact I've taken the time to build up these lists, the gifted list, the bucket list, I want to have a more variety of gameplay experiences in a sense, and that's where the gifted list is going to be helpful to sort of give me a thing to work towards, that list of games to play and so forth. Does Quake support sprites? Oh, I don't know actually. So, I will be genuinely working towards spending my time filling my boredom void by streaming these games that have been gifted by people who have been around my community for ages, and it'd be nice. I'm sure it'd be nice for them to get that satisfaction that I'm finally getting to play the game they gifted all that time ago. But I'm playing different things. branching out a bit, okay, so I might get a few less people watching me do the other stuff, but that doesn't matter. I want to have fun playing them to the few people that stick around. And I think I do have that sort of small community of people that some will come and watch me play whatever I play, which is cool. So expect to see more of that, more other games being played and trying to branch out into different things and playing the gifted games on the list, you know. And hopefully having a lot of interesting experiences along the way. I certainly am with Control at the moment, which is a game that I hadn't even really thought about until a few days ago. And having since played it, I'm like, wow, this is so cool. The combat is so fun in a way. And the story is quite nice. And then obviously I want to start getting through the bucket list as well. So, as I've said, there's a chance that Fatal Frame 2, the remake's coming out in March. I'm planning to try and play that at the time when it releases, because it's, as I said earlier, it's been a hot minute since I've actually played a new game when it has been out. I think the last time I did that was possibly Talos Principle 2. Might have been the last time I played a brand new game when it came out that I can think of, and that was 2 years ago. I think. I can't think of any other time other than that when there was a new game and it came out and I played it. Maybe... well, actually, no. There was that other one. What was it fucking called? The one that was like the... I can't remember its name. Not Graven. That was something else. Not Cultic. That's to be played. It was... Fuck. It was a game with the witch. You played as the witch and you ate human hearts and stuff. And you could eat the body parts and gain health. And it was really cool for most of it until the final few levels where it just kind of faded off into obscurity. What was it fucking called, though? I forgot the name of the game. Shit. I actually forgot what that game was called. The one where you play as a witch. That might have been the last time I played something when it came out. Not Talos 2, but that was last year. Not last year? That might have also been 2024. Ah, fuck. What was that game called? And it was a Hellforge release as well. And I was hyped for it. Sorry, I'm now trying to remember what this bloody game was called. I've genuinely forgotten. I need to look up what it was. What was it? What was it called? Because I've genuinely forgotten. I'll see when it comes up. At least I think I do. Oh my god, what was that game called? Can you even know what that game was called? Where you play as a witch, you get burned at the very start. The intro of the game is you get burned at the stake, you rise out of the grave and you eat hearts and arms and you chomp on things, and the combat was pretty good. It had that kind of like Thief type massive... You know, now that I think about it, some of the larger scale gameplay that was a bit more Quake-like than Thief, but... Ah, God, what the fuck was the game called? No, not Absentia. That's not out yet. No, it was a game where you played as a witch. And one of the things was that you could eat, like, heads, legs, and arm, and body parts of fallen enemies to regain your health. And it was magic, and you could summon, and it took place in a city at one point. And... You know, it was kind of a... And you had magic spells you could cast, and you had shields, and I can't remember what the bloody game was called. Coven! Fucking Coven, that was it. It was called Coven. And yeah, I did play it 2 years ago, in 2024. That was it, Coven. Yeah. I'll just get in the chat real quick. Yeah, a game I was really hyped to play when it came out. God, I can't believe that was 2 years ago. Damn, time really does fly. Yeah, that was a game that started off strong and then it kind of just fucking ended poorly. But that's some really cool levels for a while into that. Excellent stuff. So that was probably the last game, aside from Talos 2, that I can remember playing that when it was released. So, I mean, nice to do it Fatal Frame 2, maybe. And obviously I've got Rares, I've got access to a few others, so we'll see. I'm not going to rush to do the bucket list this year. I'm more wanting to get through the gifted game list more than the wish list. I'm more wanting to get through the gifted game list than I am the bucket list, because the bucket list is over a long period of time, and then the gifted game list is more something I feel needs to be worked on more gradually. It's slightly quicker. Yeah. So, and then. That might be a conversation for them. Well, I don't know. I guess I can end on this point. The final thing that I have put down here as a note, which I am considering for this year, but I've not made any decision on this yet, is... oh, that's some useful stuff. Thanks, Doom Noob. I'm sure that will help Abarke. If you can get Abarke into making Quake stuff, you can have a quirky Quake mapper on your hands, I'll say that much. He's made some interesting stuff for Doom. It'll be interesting to see if you could do that in Quake, Abarke, if you ever decide to get into it. But I believe working with Trench Boom is a lot more difficult than the Doom engine. So, yeah. Anyway, the final thing I wanted to mention is... oh yeah, I suppose I could quickly mention I also updated my... there was a slight improvement on the stream in the last month. I went up to 4,000 kilobits per second in terms of the quality of the stream because my internet got a bit better, so I've been able to slightly improve the visual quality of the streams, which people seem to have liked. Whereas before I've been doing it 2,500 kilobits per second. Now it's up to 4K. So I've noticed when I've been watching the VODs, when I've been saving to my local archive, that the visual quality of what I actually see on the videos is a lot better. You know, it's not as blurry with the games that aren't Doom related. So it's very nice that you get to see that it's not as blurry on your end watching it live. But yeah, the last point I wanted to sort of make is about my local recording archive. But I do have now. I don't know how many of you are aware of the archive that I have for my my Twitch channel. Obviously, I've got the YouTube channel for everything 2016 and beyond. It's all on there at the moment, except for the odd thing that was removed due to YouTube stuff, like the poker streams were removed or whatever. But like all the streams I've ever done in the past and ongoing are always saved to a local hard drive. Like whenever I do, even this stream, for example, is being saved to an ongoing FLV recording, which gets added to an archive by year. So I have a track of what I've been playing in a year, and that's how it's. That has helped me to put out my notes for this part. And I've been doing this for quite a few years now, of archiving all my streams, because I didn't used to do this in the past. When I was on Dope Lives or back in the day, I never used to bother with the idea of archiving anything. Or just kind of streamed and got on with it. And a lot of streamers do that. They just stream stuff and it happens and comes and goes. But I've chosen to, for the time being at least, maintain an archive of my streams over many years. And it's not too much work at the moment, because all I do is I just sort of save it, I copy it over to my archive, and then it stays there, and it's good. But I am starting to ponder why I'm doing this. sometimes. I am starting to ponder if it would be easier for me to just not give a shit about that archive and just stream, and what happens happens, and well, you had to be there kind of thing. You know, like a lot of streamers do. Yeah, and then obviously something like that comes up. Like on very rare occasion, I have had someone ask me about an older stream, and I can actually bring it up and link it to them. There was someone last year who asked me about something I did in a mega project from years ago, and I was able to find it, upload it to Mega, and link it to them so they could watch it. So on very rare occasion, the archives have been useful for others. But beyond that, I do get these thoughts occasionally. Why am I still doing this? Why am I bothering? It'd be so much easier for me to just, not give a shit about that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, the YouTube would stay up. I mean, the YouTube for me, large part, is just exporting from Twitch, and then if there's any muting problems, I just use the local recording to upload on there. And again, this is nothing concrete. I've not made any plans, but I do ponder occasionally as to why I bother keeping my local archive. I mean, I've sort of justified it as the reasons being that it's useful if people want to bring up like a past stream to look at something, or if they want to find something to watch. That doesn't happen very often. It's useful to myself on rare occasion when I want to go over how a year went, or if I want to check if I've played something, or if I want to a lot of it is partly me thinking way ahead in the future when I can't stream anymore. Maybe that I watch my old stuff and show it to other people or something, like maybe my niece and nephew in the future when they get a bit older, showing this is what Uncle John used to do for years, this is what he used to play, or maybe I'm in a retirement home and I'm sat there, I'm watching my old self play these games, and I'm going, this is what I used to do, I used to stream Doom stuff. Although I'm kind of hoping that when I'm in a retirement home and I'm still playing Doom stuff or something, or anything really. I'm kind of hoping maybe one day you'll see me in a retirement bedroom and I'm there playing a Quake map set or some game or something with a stick and a beard, and I'm like, oh, they're still fucking making slaughter maps for fucking Doom. It's 2066. Give it a rest already. Goddamn fucking AI friggin' mappers. They don't got what the old boys used to have, and girls. Plus we can ask those specific videos if you want them, and you can erase them. Just make sure to keep YouTube up. Yeah, I'm also going to have to, if I want to also continue this archive, I am going to have to invest in some more hard drives, because I've now got, no kidding, 2 full hard drives. As of this year, my second hard drive is full up with content. And I've got the very awkward thing where like one stream from 2025 is now on my current hard drive. Just one, and I'll have to splice them together at some point. It takes a bit of time, and I need to get a bigger hard drive, because that's the thing. If I'm going to maintain the archive, I'm going to have to purchase new hard drives and bigger ones so I could store them all in one space or something like that, or whatever. I'm not really too keen on putting them on a cloud system. I want like a local recording available to me. So a part of me was also thinking like it's just a lot of work to have to like buy new hard drives, transfer them over, keep preserving them. But it's just a thought that I have considered. I'm not going to delete any archive stuff right now. I'm not getting rid of the YouTube channel. I'm going to keep that up, But I have just pondered whether or not I'm just sort of putting it out there. I have had thoughts about possibly ending the archive, at least locally, and just kind of doing my streams on uh, be there and miss out basis. Because also, if I did that, I tell you one thing I could fucking do if I was to do that. I could start playing copyrighted music and not give a shit. That would be a massive bonus. You know, if I wanted to link a music thing or something on the stream, I could do that, and then because afterwards there'd be no VOD, so it wouldn't matter. The moment would come and go. That would be nice. That's something that's always been a ball ache with having to do this. I mean, preserve the YouTube section of the archive anyway. It's the fact that I can't, like, if I think of a funny little moment I can cut to a famous song, oh, I can't do that because it might get muted on the fucking YouTube. I hate that shit. Didn't used to have to put up with that back in the day. You just did it. Now every time a music thing comes up in a game, it's like, oh god, I'm going to get muted. I'm going to have to fucking hope that YouTube doesn't copyright claim it or something and mute that fucking section. It's a pain in the ass. Whereas if I didn't give a shit about it, it'd just be a case of, you know, because some streamers do that. They play copyrighted music because they don't preserve their archives. It's a lot simpler for them, and that's nice. I like the idea of that. But I do also understand that the archive is useful for people sometimes. They might miss a stream and they might want to watch something in the past. So, that'd be sick of drama quiet by now. I need to catch one of your streams, Depop. Why don't you stream like right now so I can actually raid you and then I can watch one of your streams finally. I think I did catch your stream once, but I don't feel like I have for some reason. So yeah, I will be thinking about whether I preserve my archive, because if I do, I'm going to need to buy some more hard drives this year as well as upgrade my computer so I can play Dark Ages finally and just have some future proofing. But that will be later in the year. That'll be like summertime when I've got more free time to purchase equipment and set up a new computer and have upgrades. So hopefully by the end of this year I'll have an upgraded computer. I will hopefully be at my ideal weight, and yeah, hopefully we'll still be ticking along quite nicely. And I might still even have this yellow jumper you all like. My mum says this is a rather tatty thing, which it kind of is, but you all seem to like it, so it's sticking around for a while. Better buy a hard drive as soon as possible or wait a year. The AI bollocks is making SSDs more expensive, and now it's spreading to HDDs. Yeah, these are like external hard drives that I've got. I've got like, is the light still good, by the way, to see? I know it's getting a bit dark. I'll have to turn it on in a minute. I've got like these, I think they're called Seagate ones. Yeah, Seagate with all external like hard drive things. I got like 2 of these, which contain all the stuff, and I'm using a third one for the uploads for this year, which should keep me going for a while. That's also the thing as well, because the increase in quality, the file size of each stream has gone up a bit, so I'll fill up the space more on these 2 terabyte hard drives. So these are like external ones that I plug in. But yeah, I understand that things are getting more expensive on that front. It's the cool jumper. Yeah, that's why I'm not wanting to wait perhaps too long to upgrade my computer, but, you know, it'll be what it'll be. You know, I need to upgrade my computer in some capacity anyway. I need more space. All right, Obake. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you around. So yeah, that's kind of all my notes on how 2025 went and what to look forward to in 2026 on this channel. I'm just checking how we're getting on in our game against Sheffield Wednesday. Okay, good. We're winning 1-0. That's great. It'd be nice if it was more than 1-0, but at least we're winning at the moment. So yeah, is there any sort of questions from anyone in the chat at the moment? The 21 people currently watching the stream. Any questions from anyone? What are my current specs, John? Do you want feedback on how to upgrade without buying more RAM? I won't upgrade if you're changing from DDR4 to DDR5 or if you need to increase RAM capacity. Now, I'm just thinking of getting a whole new computer, a pre-built one, Doom Noob, which has like quite a few things, because that's the thing. I would want to upgrade my graphics card. I'd want to get, well, basically, I just want a new computer. You know, Windows 11 with, though, if you want my current specs, to give you an idea what I have at the moment, since you do have to ask a question, just let me get that for you real quick. Not usually big on this spec stuff, but I'm happy to get you some, oh, bloody hell, I can't even fucking, alright. So, I have like, because I'm just saying in the chat, my voice even. So I have currently 32 gigs of RAM, I guess. I have 32 gigs of RAM across several. I think I have like 4 8-gig sticks or something like that, if I'm remembering correctly. I have an Intel Core i7 4 gigahertz computer as the processor. I have an NVIDIA GeoForce GDX 1080 Ti, which apparently is one of the most reliable graphics cards in existence, apparently. From what I've very briefly heard about it, it's probably one of the most long-term reliable ones ever. At the time I got it, it was pretty top of the line, not the best, but like it was the top end of the 10X range. Yeah. It's probably the best card they ever made. Yeah. And I mean, the thing is that the main catalyst for me upgrading is simply I can't run Dark Ages. Because it requires an RTX computer, because some modern games are starting to delve into RTX stuff, which means gotta upgrade. If Dark Ages was able to run on a lower spec, then I would probably have already played it by now. Okay, it's getting too dark in here. I'm going to have to put a light on. Carry on. Fucking winter. Dark. It's so dark out there. Yeah, so... Yeah, I think that's about it for the technical stuff. I'll just put that up there. So yeah, like the main thing I'd want is I'd want a graphics card that has RTX capacity. I'd want an SSD. I'd also want an M3 drive because they're even better than SSDs. So I'd be looking to get a pretty chunky amount of space. I don't know if I'd want to necessarily get any more RAM per se. I don't know if there'd be a big difference of slapping 64 to 32 because I know that RAM only helps you up to a point. But yeah, that's basically what I'd be wanting. Like I'd want it to be upgrade quite a few parts, and I imagine that it would cost more for me to replace individual parts than to just get a new pre-built that just has them all there and stuff. I mean, I've had in the UK, I've been able to find a computer that's had a pretty decent spec for about £1,000. I haven't checked it recently with the price update, so it might be more expensive now, but I've been able to get like £1,000 for a new computer. But at the moment, I've not been wanting to spend a lot of money. I'm trying to save up for stuff, but it doesn't need an RTX card, merely a card that supports ray tracing, which sucks. Yeah, that was it, the ray tracing. There's no need for that bollocks. With that said, AMD or Intel cards can also run the game great. In fact, I'd fudge up the RT somehow, so AMD is actually faster per watt in Doom. The RTX 59 is barely faster than the 9070 XT in that game, which is baffling. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's kind of a shame, really, that that option was there. It would have been nice if it had been like optimized like Eternal, where it allowed you to run on most things. You know, because honestly, if not for that, I probably would just stick with this computer for another couple of years. Just upgrade to Windows 11 when the time comes and stick it out. Because as I said, this current graphics card is meant to be pretty damn reliable. But the main thing, but I do need to get a new SSD because my current one only has 460 gigs. It's not enough. Not without having to delete stuff. I'd like to get one that's about 2 terabytes next time, so I have way more space to play with. So yeah, bottom line is that I would be getting a new computer at some point later this year. Um, Maybe once my job situation's a bit more settled as well. I can afford to stick $1,000 or 2 on a new computer. But anyway. So, are there any other questions from anyone in the chat at this point? Anyone's got any queries from the lurkers or anything? Or is it time to go and raid someone? What CPU model do you have in mind? It was an Intel i7 or which gen? This information system somewhere. Tell which one you have. Oh, which one did I have? Give me a sec. It says Intel Core i7-8086K CPU at 4 gigahertz, 12 CPUs. I believe allowing for overclocking above that, but I've never overclocked a computer in my life, so shows you how much of a PC nerd I am not. I have never overclocked anything ever. I just keep it at the flat rate or whatever. Yeah, I'm not really looking into pondering about the new computer right now. I've got a tricky job to get back into on the 5th, so I'm kind of seeing what happens with my money, my finances coming into the new year. And there's some stuff about poker as well, like I need to ponder what I'm going to do with poker myself, because more I'm streaming a poker or whatever, but I won't dwell too much on that stuff. I've done enough already. This would have been a very long exception on the New Year's Eve stream, and it'd be Called the Void time. If this was yesterday, about now I'll be playing Called the Void, so yeah. But yeah, I think overall I would say that hey, that was a collector's edition version of the RC to a bit better frequency. Right, I would merely get a new GPU. That's probably all you need. The RX 9060 XT from AMD is the one I recommend. It has the best performance per dollar at the moment. Just a new GPU. How much is that? Definitely getting I'll definitely want a storage upgrade as well. 100%. I want more space on my SSD. I want an M3 because they're supposed to be faster than SSDs as well. It is also possible if it turns out to be cheaper that I could just keep my current computer and just upgrade the parts around it, but I'm figuring it would probably be cheaper for me to just get a new computer, I think. But to be fair, I have not looked into this much yet. I've been busy with other things, so I've not actually looked into price and cost and all that. I just know that I could, as of when I checked it a few months ago, I was able to get a brand new computer with a bunch of decent stuff for about $1,000. But I'm not going to rule out the possibility that I do look into just slapping parts onto this so I can keep the space or whatever. I do happen to know a couple of tech literate people from my poker group that would help me install the parts as well, which is nice. I'd be able to get that sorted with no issues. So no questions from anybody? Other than Doom Noob. Alright, well, in that case then, I guess we'll go and raid somebody. Give someone a bit of a raid. We have 17 people. That's a decent number. Let's see who's streaming. Who can I raid? Ooh, I could raid Kiri and give her some more streams for Resident Evil 1. Could stream, could raid. Actually though, I think I'm gonna raid Nitro. Since he was here earlier. Should really appreciate the raid. I mean, I do like Kiri streams, but I think Nitro needs the numbers more. So we'll give him a raid. So he's playing Sonic Forces at the moment. So hopefully I will be back later this evening, since it seems my voice is mostly okay. I will be playing more Control Ultimate Edition tonight. So again, I'm sure Depot will be very pleased with that. An RTX is £350, but if you can get a decent modern system for only £1,000 in the edge of that, I thought it would have gone up a lot because of RAM. Alright, so $350 just for the RX. Alright. I will I'll take that recommendation. I will take that recommendation in mind, Doom Noob, on the graphics card front. Let me just oh, sorry, it's not a graphics card, it's a GPU recommendation, isn't it? Yeah, I will I'll bear that in mind, Doom Noob. Thank you. So thanks for watching, everyone. Hopefully 2026 will be good. Again, sorry I couldn't do this on New Year's Eve like I planned, but my voice was giving out, so I've done it now, so it's done. And therefore it won't interfere with the main streams, and thus I can get back into doing those. And I'll be playing some more Control later, so I'll catch, hopefully, some of you all later today. Bye!